Have you ever seen incoming phone call? We've all been there. You look at that name on the phone. It doesn't matter who it is. It probably doesn't even have to do with them. It's more you. You just don't feel like picking up the phone. That's me. And the person on the other side could be a very wonderful human being. You know, doing the Lord's work, doing God's work. But it could be family. It could be your best friend. It could be someone you haven't heard from in a while. But you ever get to a point where you just don't care to really pick up anyone's phone call? Unless it's an emergency and you get a text that, hey, I really need to talk. Like, that's what it's taking me these days to pick up a phone call. Could it be that part of the reason why I am becoming this way is because I'm really self sufficient, which I am? An example is that I moved all alone from California to Nevada. I did all the research, the costs, the accidents, meaning that the mishaps on the way that happened, like my AC going out, and I drove in the thick of summer, my dog just being tortured by the heat. I thought she was gonna die. And this happened 2 hours into my drive. Non-stop, I think Nevada is about 8 hour drive. Maybe just a tad bit over 8 hours. That was brutal. And when I got here, it's a settling down piece, right? You're building from the ground up. You have no furniture. You're waiting for your things to arrive. Then you gotta get your insurance, your work stuff, right? And doctor changes and vision, dental, all the records being transferred over, which is seamless, but there's just a lot of things. Yeah, you're packing up and leaving to another state. You're starting all over again. That's not a lot of people can do that. You know, what's crazy now is that they are selling courses. I see ads in the books, on TV, you know, for an X amount of dollars, we'll show you how it's done. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking, you don't need a course. But at the same time, props to these businesses, you know, they're making a dollar, a pretty penny out of how to move, because there are people like myself who needed it back then. But information is free. There's a lot out there that you can look up. Part of this new trailer is like all the noises, right? Like the residential spaces and people just doing wintry things, like that guy's chopping wood, making furniture or something like that's what I saw. Uh, but yeah, when you have a lot to do, and when you are this self-sufficient, meaning you get to a point where you don't need a whole lot of people, I think it's a good place to be. I thought I saw someone behind me, the trash can. I'm seeing things. I see dead people. But yeah, another thing I want to mention is I like being alone quite a bit. I like being alone quite a bit, meaning that there's a lot of freedom, peace, and gratitude when you get to this point of being self-sufficient and just building your own empire, your road. You know, when you get to this point, it's like you love spending time alone. There's no price tag you can put on peace and quiet and longevity in this sense. And I don't experience any kinds of loneliness. Yes, I do. I mean, I'm human, but there's always something to do. How could you feel lonely? Like in that sense, it's human nature to want company, right? So I'm thankful that I have my girlfriend right now. It's cuffing season. I don't mind it, especially in this weather. No complaints there. But she's actually pretty cool. You know, been dating her for now 1 year, just a 1 year, 1 month. So we're going into the next phase. We'll see. But yeah, it's even then we give each other a lot of space. I see her once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. It's okay because she works, I work, and our schedules are such where we don't like to cling on to each other. But when we do, it's Vegas, baby. We become Vegasy. We do Vegas things. We're on tourist mode. She's from Colombia, right? So she's just as excited to see Sin City as much as I am. There's always something new happening here, and construction, and the bright lights, and the vibe, the electricity. But most times, I like being alone. Of course, there's intimacy, right, and all that stuff. But you get your needs met. I'm not one person right now. One girl is good for me. I'm happy. I'm low maintenance, man. Especially at my age, right? You've been through life a little bit. You want to protect your energy. And that's why I don't answer most calls, because it's like hey, how you doing? How are you? You don't want to know how I am doing. You don't. I don't care to tell you how I'm doing, because if I was doing bad, if I wasn't feeling well, what would you have to say? You wouldn't know a solution. So why are you asking me how's your day? I don't want to ask you how's your day. I really don't. Now I'm really showing myself, right? I don't care to know how your day was. That's why I left California, because I was sick and tired of the same routines, the same people, right? Including family. It's not weird. It's just, if you keep it real, if you keep it 100, people will really respect you. Because at the end of the day, you're not harming anyone. I'm doing this. I'm being an example. It doesn't make me a saint, but I know I'm doing more good in the community in terms of putting what I am out there. That someone asking me how you're doing is not going to move the needle for me. I'm at a different place in life where I know how I'm doing. And most days, I'm not doing good. Meaning I have those same voices that you have. I just choose to fight it a little differently through this. Through this. The act and art of doing. Look at the sun. There's a beautiful sunshine behind me. Look. This is like the peak of the day, I think. Like nearly 2 o'clock. At 1:30. And the sun went right back down as soon as I said that. It's on the other side. But you get the point. So if you don't feel like taking a phone call, there's a lot that goes into it. Think about protecting your energy and what that person can add to your life. Think about how much of yourself and information you're giving away during this phone call. Sometimes I've found that I'm exhausted speaking to just anyone, because I'm giving information out and I'm providing value. Not that it has to be always about something. I just don't check in just to check in. I don't do that. If someone needs my help, most times, 9 out of 10, they're reaching out to me. They're reaching out to me most times. So a lot of times what you can do is you decline the phone call, meaning you just let it go to voicemail, and then see if they send you a text message. Because if there's something really important, pressing, life-threatening, they really need your advice, then choose and decide and respond and say, hey, I'll get back to you at a certain time. And if it's an emergency, of course, call them if it's a loved one, right? Especially. But I find myself in a place where it's a very unique position. I'm in a position of strength, mental strength. Like these walks have given me a new perspective to life, that a lot of life's problems can be solved not by really calling someone, but rather by spending a lot more time with yourself. And a lot of people are running away from that reality, from the truth. They don't want to come to a realization that it's tough to face yourself sometimes. A lot of times. It's tough to honor the voices within. It's tough to look at yourself in the mirror and say it's your fault, nobody else's fault. This is why it's happening. This is why you are not where you want to be. Of course, within reasonable means. I don't mean to mock any health conditions. That's something I don't take lightly either. But this is something to do with health too, mental health. Walking, right? Fasting, drinking water, enough water, plenty of water, sleeping well, right? These are all those things. This is all health related. And if you don't feel like talking to anyone, you don't feel like talking to anyone. That's it. That's just it. And you protect your energy. You protect your energy. You're creating boundaries. And I am more this way is because 1 second here, folks. That's fun to do, by the way. I'm also this way because I'm Gen X, I think. But you don't have to be a Gen X. You know, there's a joke, right? Oh, you're old and this and that. You cranky old man. You clearly know I don't look like an old man. You clearly know I don't move like an old man. And you clearly know I'm putting a lot of energy out there in these videos and this lifestyle thing that I'm doing. Of course, if I was a kid and I saw someone on camera, I would guess it exactly as like he did. I love it because that's what you should do. You know what? And he's having fun. No qualms there. I don't have to take his phone call. You get the point. I beat this phone call down to the pulp, right? Do you. Just continue doing you. Until you get your life and act together, you have no business trying to help and give advice to other people, I think, because you're really running away from yourself. And once you get to this point, you realize how much stronger than you are, and you really don't need people. A whole lot of people. Okay? I may have digressed a bit, but thanks for watching. Next one, Mamba out.